Today, I'm going to tell you why you are addicted to cigarettes and give you a way to never battle smoking again. Let's begin. People tend to overcomplicate their addiction and connect it to some major event that happened to them. Looking at it from an emotional perspective gives the person excuses as to why they can't quit. My English teacher in university was the biggest smoker I knew. I was never really too close to him, but I remember one time a kid asked him during a presentation, "Sir, why do you always smoke so much?" He spent the rest of the English class explaining to us how, when his girlfriend cheated on him as a teenager, the only time he remembers enjoying was going out with his friends, driving around, and smoking. He connected this depressive moment in his life to smoking, acting as if it cured his pain. From the outside, it's obvious that smoking hardly had anything to do with him feeling better. But in his mind, smoking helped him get over losing the love of his life. He lived as if cigarettes magically cured any pain that came his way. But that was not the case. He believed smoking cured his heartbreak, without realizing that maybe the substance itself was just addictive, and that's why he felt the need to smoke it. Realistically, it didn't solve anything as far as the heartbreak goes. The cigarette only made him happier while he smoked it. Other people look at smoking completely differently. They didn't have such a major event leading to their addiction. They just smoked once at a party, then they smoked again at a friend's house, and again at the park, and again until it almost just creeped into their lives. These people usually didn't know or think of the effects of smoking early on, which is quite logical. They thought one cigarette wouldn't hurt. Same with the first scenario. Smoking to help get through a breakup won't hurt. They'll have no reason to smoke after, they thought. But they were wrong. Both my English teacher and the "I just smoked at a party" guy will have a reason to smoke again. Not because it will help with getting through anything, but because of the substance tobacco itself. To understand why they'll smoke again, understand this. Whenever we do something that benefits us, we get something called dopamine released from our brain. For example, going to work. We don't, at least most of us don't, go to work because it's our favorite thing to do, but because we know that at the end of the month, we'll get money, thus a reward, thus dopamine, resulting in us being happier. Knowing that if we go through these 30 work days, we'll earn money at the end motivates us to go through it. Essentially, we work now to get the reward later. And that reward is dopamine, which gets released in our brain when we achieve something. Cigarettes are so effective because they hijack this system.
Oh my God! Wow!
Instead of working now to get a reward later, like in a job, we get the reward instantly without having to work for it. We light the cigarette, inhale, and the nicotine enters our system and releases dopamine. Essentially, it tricks our brain into feeling happier for no reason. So instead of, "I'll do some work to get the reward," it's, "I'll get the reward right now." Over time, our dopamine receptors get so much dopamine from smoking that they become less and less reactive to it, meaning the smoker will have to smoke more and more to get the same dopamine rush, the same amount of joy. The problem with that is other activities that used to release a certain amount of dopamine now release less because our brain becomes more tolerant to dopamine from smoking. This hijack is a terrible deal if you think about it. For the 5 minutes of smoking a cigarette, you feel better. But during the day, you feel less happy for anything else that happens to you. Now you see why both my English teacher and the "I just smoked at a party" guy will have a reason to smoke again. Each of them felt like their problems got solved when they smoked. In reality, they only felt better not because any problem got solved, but because the nicotine in the cigarette released lots of dopamine in their brain. But as we previously said, they didn't actually earn that dopamine because their problem wasn't solved. They didn't work for it. They got the joy of solving the problem, but they didn't solve anything. Now we understand why smoking is not all about emotions and how cigarettes hijack our bodies and reward system. All this might seem overwhelming and a lot of information, but as long as you religiously re-watch this video, your subconscious will put it together and understand it better and better. Thus, it will lead to better decision-making when tempted by smoking. As a final note, I actually don't believe in quitting smoking altogether. If you want to know why, I have a paid course in the description that will help you to never have problems with smoking again. It's my own framework that I developed backed by over 20 hours of research. It literally costs 1/3 as much as filling up your car with gas once and can save literal years of your lifespan. Think about it. Thank you for listening.